Hey guys, welcome back. I guess I took the time I just dropped for like 10 minutes or whatever it was and uploaded or created some mono samples. Probably could have done that on stream, I guess, but I wasn't sure how long it was going to take and wasn't sure if anybody was out there anyway. But let's go through and I'll just do another short one of these live streams. I'm just taking this SD card, I'm gonna load it in. Let's go to banks C and D, and we're just going to load stuff. I had done this offline, but now you guys will get to watch me do this by hand. So hopefully I don't make any mistakes here. I've got a make2 test, and I created this 32 voice mono. So all of these are now mono, and we're just going to load them in. And as I said, just plays the start of the clip, and I'm just going to exit out. Yep, I can hear it. So everything's still working with my mixer and everything going into the computer. Should be able to hear it on the stream. So let's go back. We'll go back to importing sample mono. Now we'll go to two. Select destination pad first. Yes. So my hope here is that by loading in these mono samples, we'll actually be able to get the whole thing to play. But if this doesn't work, then I will be updating the guide here that I've got loaded up on the side. I'll get it updated to explain that either this has technically 32 voice polyphony, but everything has to go out in stereo, so you really only get 16, or I'll actually be able to update it and say, hey, load in mono samples and you can actually get 32 voice polyphony. And then I won't have to think about this again until either Roland makes an update or something. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to keep my hopes up that this actually does work and that we can get the right amount of polyphony. Unfortunately, these are just really big files, so it's not huge, but it just takes a while to do all this loading, which is why I did this offline for the previous video. And just do one at a time. Go back to 10. And I'm just doing this in order this way so that it's easier to actually see where things drop out or don't drop out. 11, almost halfway there. If anybody's out there, if you happen to be watching, I should be able to see chat messages pop up over here. So I saw a couple pop up just as I was ending the last video, but feel free to shout out. If you have any questions or anything, I'll do my best to try and answer stuff for you guys. And otherwise, just kind of keep loading stuff while I'm setting up and configuring this project for this experiment. And as I said yesterday, I'll probably just kind of keep finding things in the guide to poke at. Just use this as a way to motivate me to keep updating the guide. Or I had some ideas for a bunch of experiments and things to try because there are things I'd like to know how they work specifically on the SP404 Mark II, and I'm sure it'd be useful information for other folks just beyond polyphony to understand how they do or don't work. So I said, get ideas, shoot them over. I'm happy to help. So we're up to 17. Yep. This is the fun part of experiments, just getting them set up. Get some English tea, breakfast tea here to drink while I'm doing this, at least. 20, oops, wrong way. And I do think I'm going to have to get another webcam or two. The GoPro I could not get to show up very well as a web camera for OBS. And I'm actually, for the little bit I've played for these videos, or just doing some other stuff in the past with OBS, I think it's the way to go, and having things that can sync up and operate with it probably going to make my life easier than harder. And I like the quality, the image quality of the GoPro, but it just doesn't seem to interoperate with everything else the way I want it to between my computer and all that. So I don't know. OBS seems to have nailed a few things. I can do fancy transitions and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. I have to convince my wife that I should get another webcam or two first. And I still need to tear apart it goes to my studio and recable everything anyway. So close to done here. And then I can start explaining again what the intent of this is. So actually I can start doing that while I'm doing this. So each sample is the full length of a 16 bar, oh, we want to skip 3, we want 30. Each sample is the full length of 16 bars at 84 BPM, and it only plays half of a bar. Each sample only plays half of a bar. The reason why I did this was if we have 32 notes and each one plays half a bar, if we are dropping out samples or they're not able to get triggered or play, it should be really obvious when you're listening to the audio. When I did this before, I don't remember if I recorded a video of it or not, but I found that doing 8 bars of the first bank would play correctly. And this is before we had TRX. So when I would trigger notes, it was subtly picking random ones as the ones to actually trigger or not. So I'd get some of the 1 through 16 on the first bank, and I would get some of 1 through 16 on the second bank, which is indicating to me that it was somehow taking a note priority behind the scenes or something. Not totally sure, but I was able to find that the most you could get was 16 note stereo polyphony with this test. Now, what I did earlier, if I exit out of here, was this is playing stereo, and I converted, this is using banks A and B. I went through the settings here, and under pitch and speed, I hit shift and I use subpad to select it. I've set everything as mono. So why did it go back to center? Does it lose that setting in between? I don't want. So here, mono, center, center. Odd. I wonder if I actually caused myself some problems with this. I'm going to do this again. Hold on. Let's stop everything from running. Go back. Mono, 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 mono. Okay, these are set to mono. Let's go to bank B and we'll check mono, mono. All right, I'm just losing my mind from doing this super repetitive stuff, apparently. So when we play this, what's happening, if I go back to the pattern here, is everything on bank A is lit up, which is telling me it's playing all 16 of these, but because nothing on bank B is lit up, even though I have triggers that I programmed in from TRX, it's telling me that none of these are actually playing, and we're running out of polyphony. So the hope is when we do the same thing where we've now loaded bank C and D as mono samples, that maybe the SP404 Mark II will treat them differently. So to set this up, I'm gonna go rec. We'll do 5. We're going to TRX. We will pick a length of 16 bars. Hit rec. Now it's gonna play, and I'm going to have to go back through. Oop, that's going to be a habit I have to break. But I basically just want a trigger on the one for every single pad. Oh, and I forgot nuts. Okay. Sorry. I got to hit remain in between all these so that it goes last step for everything. So I don't have to redo all those. That's a bummer. I'm going to check that 7 again. I don't think I got 7 set up correctly. I did not. Okay, it's got remain. Remain, 9. Remain. I mess up 9. So many of these things to do. It's easy to get wrong. 11, remain. Last step. Remain. Last step. 13, remain. Last step. 14, remain. 15, remain. 16, okay. The same thing for bank D. We go select this, remain. 2, remain. 3, 5, 6, 7. Almost there. Promise, guys. Then I'll see if anybody's got anything in chat. All right. We can exit out. Let's replay this. I don't think we're going to get this to work any better. Oops. I suspect it's just going to be this. Oh, everything's lit up. So, really interesting to note. So that's telling me if it's a stereo sample in the SP404 Mark II, it is going to be treated as stereo and take 2 polyphony for every note, no matter what your setting is in pitch and speed. That's kind of a bummer, as it means there's no way for the SP404 Mark II at this time to record mono samples. You have to import them either through the app or off of the SD card. Good news, as you can hear, it's actually playing all 32 notes. So this actually does do 32 note polyphony. That drop sounded a tiny bit weird, but I might have misprogrammed something. Let's see what do you got. Bad lucks. I purchased an SP404 Mark II off eBay for cheap and was going to flip it due to its clunky workflow, but I decided to keep it after watching some of your videos and others. Also, the performance aspect. Yeah. I find the SP404 Mark II pretty fun to work with. I usually tend to work more on the MPC Live that I've got over here, but absolutely, it's a fun little box, very laser focused on what it can and can't do, and do a lot of cool stuff with it. And I'm just happy that this worked. Although I do wonder why we're seeing all of the notes kind of blink on and off. I wonder if the BPM's wrong. Maybe it needs to be 85. Because I think it did detect these as 85 BPM. I hadn't been listening to see if I was doing anything weird. Some of the transitions sound fine. All right. Well, the point is, this does do 32 BPM, which is super cool. Yeah, if anybody else is out there, happy to answer a few more questions. I'll probably take this project and compress it and load it up someplace on my Discord server if anybody wants to play with it. And I will absolutely be making some updates to the guide over here to get some more information in. Before I drop, anybody have any questions or anything? Happy to try and answer some stuff for you guys best I can. Try to see if there's, and my chat window here seems to be keeping up to speed, but hard to tell. Well, guys, I'm gonna drop. Keep making music, keep having fun. If it sounds good, it is good.